What up, everybody? When the Power Book 2 Ghost timeline ended, at the time when Tariq was meeting up with Chinadu, the date was around early May 2023, as Stansfield had just finished up taking their final exams for the spring term. And we know that it hadn't got to the year 2024 yet, because that was the year Tariq's class was supposed to be graduating. And they weren't graduating at the end of the series because Effie was returning back to Stansfield, and I believe that Tariq had planned to as well. Then sometime after this, Tariq got the phone call from the credit scene that connected him to Force as Tommy was calling Tariq for help. This is the point in time Tariq was in Chicago and the two shows crossed over. And since we don't know the exact time frame of how long it had been between Tariq meeting up with Chinadu and going to Chicago, I'm thinking it probably been a month or two. I don't believe that it was within the same couple days, because by Tariq's conversation with Tommy, enough time had passed that he was having some kind of problems with Chinadu, if he was still even connected to him at all, because Tariq was telling Tommy about coming to New York and moving his powder. If things were going good with Chinadu, or if he had just met with Chinadu, he wouldn't be trying to move Tommy's powder in NYC, because he'd already have his own connect. But even with a couple month time jump from the end of Ghost to when Tariq appeared in Force, it would still be in the year 2023. So because of that, I feel like there's a good chance that there will be a significant time jump from the point on the Power timeline when Force ended to when Legacy begins. Something in the range of like 2 to 5 years. This way, Legacy would feel like a brand new chapter, with everyone living completely different lives from the last time we saw them. A time jump would show that Tariq is now an adult and no longer in school, and we're now past 2024 on the timeline when Tariq was supposed to graduate. Tommy would now be back living in New York with Mireya and his kid. Tommy and Mireya's kid would probably already be a couple years old at this point, and Tariq and Tommy will have already taken control of the New York drug game and running things in New York, similar to how Ghost and Tommy were at the beginning of OG Power. This is also the easiest way to explain writing certain characters off the show who ultimately don't end up getting casted for Legacy, with the characters who aren't in the storyline at the beginning of the series always having the potential to pop up later on at any point in time. And I think, to me, this is a little more interesting way to begin Legacy than an immediate continuation from where Force left off, so we can see how characters are now living a few years later after they've had time to settle in to whatever they were doing last time we saw them, and leaving more mystery about whatever happened to characters we don't see come back into the storyline right away at the beginning of the series. So I feel like Legacy should start out with the text written on the screen saying 3 years later, or however many years it's been since Force. This would give the start of the series that feel of when you watch a continuation of a movie that returns after a couple years for a new chapter. And with that said, I've seen a lot of people in my comments and on social media saying that the Power movie is what's coming next for the Power universe on the present timeline. But in a recent interview with Deadline, when asked about the timeline of the Power movie, Joseph Sikora said that the movie would come out after Power Legacy. But at the same time, he said that they can't give too much away, which I really don't understand at this point why they're still trying to keep things under wraps, with the Force series already being over and there being nothing left to spoil at this point. The release date for Legacy is another reason why the time jump is needed, and the present timeline needs to get out of the early 2020s on its timeline, is because the release date for Power Legacy is likely not going to come until mid-2027 at the earliest. Because right now, next up for Aaron is the 5th and final season of Raising Kanan, which has been done filming and everything like that for over a year now. So really, this could have been released the week after Force finished if Starz wasn't playing games. But instead, they got 2 other series airing right now that are each 6 weeks, which would get us to mid-March, the same time of year Raising Kanan Season 4 premiered. So mid-March could be a potential release date for Raising Kanan Season 5. But at the same time, they could end up pushing the release date back as far as June to make sure that the other shows that are next in line after Raising Kanan Season 5 are finished with production and ready to go. After Raising Kanan Season 5 will come Fightland, which I do think they will want to premiere the same day or week after Raising Kanan Season 5 airs to try to lock in Kanan's audience to the new Fightland series, which really does make a lot of sense when you think about it. And with that said, I don't have confirmation on this, but I do believe that Fightland Season 1 wrapped filming up in November, as 50 Cent posted images and a video from the set of Fightland and what looked to be the Season 1 wrap party for that show. So after Raising Kanan Season 5, Fightland will then air late summer to early fall of this year. Then after Fightland Season 1 comes Power Origins Season 1, which is currently filming. And we know that Season 1 of that series is going to be 18 episodes. So because of that, it will likely wrap up filming around May or June of this year and be released in early 2027. But because it will be a total of 18 episodes, it will also likely be split into 2 parts with a 2 or 3 month break between the 2 parts of Season 1, similar to how Book 2 Season 4 was split into 2 parts, taking us to around mid-2027. After Origins, Season 1 is done filming around spring of this year. Then after that should be when Power Legacy begins to start filming, and we hopefully start getting casting news around that point in time. So likely around the time Raising Kanan Season 5 is airing, Legacy will begin production, and we'll begin to hear about who's officially gonna be a part of the cast for that show and whatever new characters are gonna be added, similar to how we began to get some casting news and information about Origins during Season 3 of Force, and how there was even a little promo video for Origins before the final episode. This is how I'm expecting it to play out with Legacy, so everybody just needs to be patient, as there's some people even doubting that Legacy's gonna happen at all. But I definitely think it's gonna happen. We're just gonna have to wait until its time comes in the lineup, which, like I said, will be after Origins Season 1 finishes up around mid-2027, which would give Legacy a potential release date of around fall of 2027. And there you have it. Leave your thoughts, theories, and predictions in the comments.